Friends, let's look at three new books on the history of war, particularly the Israel Hamas war. Two books, Loot, How Israel Stole Palestinian Property, and The Gates of Gaza, a story of betrayal, survival, and hope in Israel borderlands. The reviewer notes, last autumn, in the weeks after Hamas's brutal attack on Israel and the start of Israel's crushing retaliation, it suddenly seemed as if everyone was talking about what Palestinians call the Nakba. For good reason. Nothing, not the Balfour Declaration, not the 1967 war, not the Oslo peace talks, is more critical in the troubled story of these neighbors than what happened at Israel's creation. Here we have this photo of Zionist paramilitary forces on patrol in the streets of Jerusalem in 1948. This review concludes. He rereads Diane's eulogy and wonders if his former neighbors at Nahal Oz will someday be able to return, if peace with the people on the other side of the border is conceivable. It's certainly hard to imagine, so long as the people of Gaza lived with barbed wire and machine guns. Then we go over to this diary, a memoir of sorts. Day by day, a historian records the violence and upheaval in Israel in his personal journal. Diary of a Crisis, Israel in Turmoil by Saul Friedlander. Here we have demonstrators, but let's just read the parts of this review. What sort of diary should I like mine to be? Virginia Woolf asked in her diary in 1919 before attempting an answer. Something loose-knit and yet not slovenly, so elastic that it will embrace anything solemn, slight, or beautiful that comes into my mind. The immediacy of writing without much time for reflection ensured a welcome mode of unthinking, Woolf observed. A diary she had written a few months earlier sweeps up accidentally several stray matters, which I should exclude if I hesitated, but which are the diamonds of the dust heap. The historian Saul Friedlander began keeping a diary of his own in January 2023 to chronicle his adopted country's political upheaval as Benjamin Netanyahu's government encroached on the country's judicial independence. And this reviewer concludes, Friedlander writes modestly of his wish to see the diary through to a conclusion of the war and the release of the hostages, but the entries end before the winter. The book heads to press. Months later, his book is out, and there is still no end in sight. A question from one of his entries reverberates across our bleeding region. What happened to us?